afternoon, Dr. Grissom, and this is going to be for phase four, all the completed code, and just to finish up the last phase here. So, to begin, this phase is all about learning about how to integrate the Google Cloud with the M5 Stack Core 2. And to do that, again, we're going to go into Google Cloud. We had to make a project, which I did here, and then you make a Cloud Run, which first, the Cloud Run uses an index.js and a package JSON. And first, we have to import our functions here. So we have this, and then we have our functions, our Firestore, then our storage. Then we need to call our variables, bucket name, collection name, which if we actually go to here, edit and deploy, and then we go to, hold on, might not be there. I'll show that later. So then we have over here we have our functions that get triggered when that request is made. Then again, if we have our header attempting to convert that string to a JSON object, manipulating that JSON object, and then making sure that user ID also was included. Then it adds that current time data, writes that detail to the Google's Firestore, and then it uploads that JSON object to the Firestore with the upload code. Again, we could put that later if we want. So one of the things we do when we do this is we use Postman, and what we can do here is we put the HTTP request up here, and then we can go to headers. We write our key, which was in here, M5 details, and then our JSON temp. And if we just press send, and you want to make sure you're on get, it should say function complete, which we go over here and we can check our logs. And right there, it shows that it got it. It got it completely. So it says M5 details successfully uploaded to Firestore collection. And again, we have our everything running on our Firebase. Over here with our EGR425, which we've gone over how this works, but just to show it again, right here. Data points, and it shows you all your data points that it has gathered. And then there's one more thing. So that's how that works. You would just connect it through there, and then again we have our code here. And so the first thing was to just get how the Cloud Run working, and then we also have our actual buckets. This is the Firestore in Google Cloud, which, as you can see, capture time, M5 details, so it's actually gathering these. And then if we go to buckets, cloud storage, and then buckets, we could see the M5 uploads and users, and all of our thing. You can download our JSON text right through here. And so one thing is that my M5, again, you didn't give me an SD card, so I just rewrote some of the code to just work with dummy data without an SD card. But if I did, then you would just use the code in here, right here. That basically option 1 and 2 down here, where it would just show basically to implement, again, the SD file path, which, again, I don't have one, so I could not do that, but it is really useful to just transfer SD data right to the cloud. It's super useful. But the main thing was to see how this package JSON works, which really is kind of your PubSpec YAML or your info or your IO in M5. So it just has your dependencies here, and this is where you really write all your code over here. And so the main things we used here was the Cloud Run functions, the cloud storage, and then also Firebase and Firebase and Firestore. And again, if we just go to Firestore, well, actually, if we check it right here, just look up Firestore, we can see, again, we want to leave it as default, because if we don't, then that's not good. And data points, and then as you can see, it's right here, and it detects. And then if we go to the code here, Again, we have to have our URL for the actual Google Cloud upload, network name, password, user ID, and then again, just initializing our sensor and object timing variables, our structure reading, and then actually if we just run this is pretty long, but again, this is mostly the same code, just changed up a little bit. Let it compile. It's linking our framework, connecting, and it's got a rate to get to 100%. Okay, it completed, and then you can press the serial monitor, and it found the chip, and then as you can see, the data is getting passed through. Current time, and then it tells you actually the ambient light there too. And then if we go over here, let's go to logs. Logs. It is found right here, configured bucket, and it's uploading those to the actual bucket file. So that's how it works. Basically, we're running Cloud Run with the M5, and we're basically be able to connecting, raw data, raw files or whatever, and pushing it through. And also in Postman, you can go to body, binary, and then select a file, and it will show up there too. So there's a bunch of ways to do this. Again, the first video was just setting up Google Cloud. The second video was showing how Cloud Run functions work and just to kind of get stuff sent to your bucket mainly. And then the third one was combining kind of code and buckets at all together. And then really the fourth video was writing data from your SD card onto the Google Cloud. So other than that, pretty much the logs is your best friend here. As you can see, just what is uploaded and what's retained here, along with parsing that JSON data. And Cloud Run was used the most here, I'd say. Again, I should be able to just go to edit and deploy. There it is, variables and secrets. And see your bucket name and collection name, you give it these values. Your bucket name is going to be file uploads 425 data. And then if we go to buckets, M5 uploads, and then the other one is the Firestore. So you have users, Liam, and then all these text files, which again, let me see, Firestore. And then, yeah, remember this is the collection name, so then you go to data points. I should have changed that, but it's okay. And then, yeah, you see your details right here. So that's how it works. Google Cloud is very important and will be used in Lab 3 and Project 4 to finish this course before the final project. And I really do think this is useful, as providing full-on data from your SD card onto the cloud is very needed, especially today standards. We're always transferring hard drives, our C drive data to our D drive data and all that, and we're always putting it on the cloud, and it's good to preserve data and photos and stuff that you can't take back. So I do think this was a very valuable lesson altogether, and I think I will be using it in the future if I do get an SD card and an actual my own M5 stack core too, right? And I do think learning how the index.json and the package work together is very fundamental to be able to write Cloud Run functions without scaling it too big or little, or Google Cloud just does that for you, which is really nice. And you can just basically activate a code real quick and just get it through without having, again, it's serverless. It is a server, but it's not a complete server. That's what's great about it. It's not just a full-on server, it's serverless. So you're giving that serverless code and you're activating those files or whatever. And to that, we can test it with Postman, which is a really good tool, along with connecting our stuff to Firebase and then having it in here. So overall, I really do think this is a good lesson, and I think that's it. Thank you.